أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Today I would like to discuss about Al-Quran. The title of my discussion is Know Al-Quran in Toto, Series 1. Al-Quran is a message revealed by the invincible, all-knowing and omnipotent Allah to our greatest apostle sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The language and speech of the Quran is universal, benchmark and everlasting. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna anzalnahu Qur'ana Arabiyya la'allakum ta'qilun. Surah Az-Zumar, verse 2. This means we have sent down the Quran as Arabic language in order that you may learn wisdom. In another place, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, we send down the Quran, that is healing and mercy for the believers. Surah Bani Israel, verse 82. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says, a book whereof the verses are explained in detail, a Quran in Arabic for the people who understand. Surah Fussilat, verse 3. This divine book is a living miracle before the world citizenry. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, do they contemplate over the Quran? Are their minds locked? Surah Muhammad, verse 24. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Allah misguides many people through this Quran, and again He shows the right path to many people. Through this, He misguides the fasiqs only. Surah Baqarah, verse 26. Throwing a challenge towards the disbelievers of Makkah. In another verse, Allah says, if you can make a surah like the Quran and display it before us, but the disbelievers of Makkah totally failed to do that despite their utmost efforts. This is a glaring example of the miracle of the Quran. US scientist, US scientist Jeffrey Lang and French medical scientist Maurice Bucaille were profoundly impressed by the miracle of the Quran, and they finally embraced Islam. Later, Jeffrey Lang wrote a key book titled Even Angels Us, A Journey to Islam in America. Maurice Bucaille's famous book's name is Bible, Quran and Science. The failure or success of the human society is embedded in compliance and rejection of the Quran only. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, not alike the dwellers of the fire and dwellers of the paradise. It is the dwellers of paradise that will be successful. Surah Al-Hashr, verse 20. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "He will indeed be successful who purifies his own self, and he will indeed fail who corrupts his own self." Surah Al-Mu'minun, verse 9 to 10. He says, "And my success can't come from any source besides Allah. I have put my trust in Him." Surah Hud, verse 88. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "By Al-Asr, the time, verily, man is in loss, except those who believe and do righteous good deeds, and recommend one another to the truth, and recommend one another to patience." Surah Asr, verse 1 to 3. This greatest book, Al-Quran, is a visible message of the invisible Creator. Man doesn't see the Almighty Allah. Allah is quite unseen, but He is of perception. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "It, the Quran, is guidance for the righteous, for those who believe in unseen." Surah Baqarah 3 to 4. He says, "Say, O Allah, Creator of the heavens and the earth, knower of all that is hidden and open, it is Thou that wilt judge between Thy servants in those matters about which they have differed." Surah Jumar, verse 46. Allah's Apostle sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that you offer subservience to Allah as if you are seeing Him, and if you are unable to see Him, then ponder that He indeed is seeing you. Sahih Bukhari, Muslim. But we go through His message, see and listen to it. We are profoundly overwhelmed as we go through His message. The Quran leads us to Allah in perception and belief. We speak to our dearest Master in the Quranic language. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Listen then to the inspiration sent to you." Surah Taha, verse 30. Allah says, "Say, whether you conceal what is in your breast or you disclose it, Allah knows it, and He knows what is in the heavens and what is in the earth. For Allah is powerful over all things." Surah Al-Imran, verse 29. The greatest revealed book, Al-Quran, is an eternal flowing river of knowledge which never withers. The knowledge of its store loses in the heart of the past and becomes void in the advent of future. Its knowledge is constantly brand new like the daylight. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "There is nothing in the world which I haven't discussed in this great book." Surah Al-Kahf, verse 49. He says, "Allah will exalt many degrees those of you who have attained to faith." Surah Al-Mujadilah, verse 11. Since the inception of revelation, the veracity of the Quran has been becoming inexhaustible and explicit. On the contrary, as the margin of the human knowledge is on the rise, the wonder and veracity of Al-Quran is being exposed and flourished. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "This is the book In it is guidance sure, without doubt, to those who fear Allah. Surah Baqarah, verse 2. He says, we have without doubt sent down the message, and He will assuredly guard it from corruption. Surah Al-Hijr, verse 9. And indeed it is a book of exalted power. No falsehood can approach it from before or behind it. It is sent down by one full of wisdom, worthy of all praise. Surah Al-Hamim Sizda, verse 41 to 42. Another wonder and of Al-Quran is universality. The Quran states that it has been revealed for the entire mankind. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Alif Lam Mim, this is the book. In it is guidance sure, without doubt, to those who fear Allah. Surah Baqarah, verse 1 to 2. He says, here is a book we have sent down unto thee, full of blessings, and they may meditate on its signs, and that man of understanding may receive admonitions. Surah Sad, verse 29. The history of the last 1500 years testifies that the people, male or female, of all tribes, nations, religions, languages, colors, and classes, who have heard the Quran, read and comprehended it, have offered their heart to the Quran, brought Iman in it, and accepted it as a guidebook of leading their life. The Arab or non-Arab who goes through the Quran with full attention, try to comprehend in its speech, must be shivered by it. Then his cruel heart must humbly submissive. The Quran says, has not the time yet come for those who believe that their hearts should be humbly submissive for the remembrance of Allah and what has come down of the truth? Surah Hadid, verse 16. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, the true believers are those who, when Allah's name is mentioned, their hearts quake, and when His verses are recited to them, their faith grows, and put all their trust in Him, Allah. Surah Anfal, verse 2. From Hazrat Umar Razallahu Anhu to modern people like Ahmad Didat bears an eloquent testimony to that. Those who were staunch enemies of Allah's Apostle Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam were his heartiest friends by listening to the Quran or reading it. Umar, Amr, Akrama, Khalid bin Walid, radiallahu anhum, can be erased from the history. Still the day, this trend is continuing. It will continue forever. What a great wonder it is. Only Quran is quite free from distortion. The Quran which was revealed to Hazrat Muhammad by Allah through Jibreel al-Islam is still accurately seen. There is no proof of distorting any letter in 1500 years as well. It was not required to edit even any speech or to reform it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna nahnu nazzalna zikra wa inna lahu lahafizun. Indeed, we have sent down the reminder, and indeed we shall preserve it. Surah Al-Hijr, verse 9. Please subscribe, like, and support it. And if you feel that, you may comment on this topic. Barakallahu lana wa lakum fil Qur'anil azim wa nafa'ana iyyakum bi ayati zikr. Assalamu alaikum.